Welcome back to my backyard snack yard on a slightly overcast Sunday morning. We woke up to a really big thunderstorm, but it's all stopped now. Everything is really washed clean and very wet. Let's have a little bit of a look at some of the lovely stuff growing here. We've got this beautiful navel orange, which I have shown a few times. I actually got it when I was trying to buy a blood orange. Then this guy came through and I kept watching the fruits slowly ripen until they started developing navels, and I realized, oh, it was a navel orange tree, but it's really productive this year. And recently one of the oranges actually dropped, and it was probably as green as this one up here and as large too. And so I just picked it up and tried it, and it was actually really sweet on the inside. Sweet and juicy. So I'm thinking I should start picking some of these guys now, because actually if you look here, this one has slightly snapped off, so it's probably not going to ripen that much more. And then also some of them are just so heavily laden, some of these branches. I have tied them up a while ago so they wouldn't snap, to try to give them a bit more strength there. But I mean, it's so full that I think I need to relieve that couple of branches over there a bit. But yeah, it's looking beautiful. It's still outside, and hopefully my citrus trees can remain outside for as long as possible. I'm thinking until into October. If we continue getting this kind of rain, they won't like it too much. They can suffer rot and everything. But this one here is the archable orange tree, which is also a rainbow orange or rainbow lemon. It's a mixture between blood orange and lemon, and it is really productive. It's full of flowers at the moment. It smells divine, especially right after a rain shower, because it's still quite warm now, so the warmth and the rain and everything, it just really smells good out here right now. I recently picked the last orange that was ripe from it. It's a really pretty rainbow, and so that's helped it sort of push out tons of flowers now. All my citrus trees are on a season-specific feeding schedule, so they get fed once a week during the summer with a summer feed, and then during the winter they get fed monthly with a winter-specific feed. So that seems to do really well for them, and it's so nice that they can get sprayed with rain here or washed clean with rain. But during the winter I do have to spritz them with rainwater just to keep their leaves hydrated. And they're also in cooler rooms. I mean, my house is not very warm during the winter anyhow, so they don't get dried out that way. We also have a lovely cucumber melon here, just producing some little melons. If you don't know cucumber melons, they are also known as sour gherkins or mouse melons, because they look like miniature melons, but inside they look like little cucumbers when you cut through them, and they taste just like really nice cucumbers with a twist of lime. So I really enjoy them because I like sort of sour flavors. It's so cute. There are a few of them here. Most of the plants I had this year did not do well, so it's nice to have, well, I mean, specifically the cucumber melon plants didn't do well, so I'm happy to have this little guy here. Lots of little flowers on him, so I'm hoping for quite a few more cucumber melons before the season's over. You can save the roots and replant them again next year. I haven't had any success trying that. I tried it once, but I'll try it again this year and see if I can do that, because I always love keeping plants over winter. It just gives us a head start on our sort of short season we have here. Oh, and over here we have my gigantic pepino melon. He's so big and he's so full of fruit this year. This one is getting ripe. I've recently picked one and had it in a salad, and it was just delicious. I don't think the color quite shows up, but it's really golden right now, and it's still really firm. So they're still firm when you pick them. And yeah, they have this wonderful cantaloupe melon like flavor, I think, if they're ripe enough. Sometimes they might have a little bit of a cucumber flavor if they're not quite ripe, but lots of mine are ripening up now. And there are so many. They're like little eggs hiding all over the shop. They're in the same family as tomatoes, sort of nightshades. This plant is 3 years old. I grew it from seed, and it is very, very big. Let's have a look. See, that's how big it is. It's right next to a physalis. which is these guys here. I just picked all the ripe ones, little lanterns with beautiful golden berries on the inside. And then that is next to this tomatillo, which also produces lantern-like fruits. The fruits are inside those lanterns, and these ones have more sour tomatoes. And I've had them in a salsa, and that was super nice. I think they say you can eat them raw, but I did cook the little tomatoes first before I used them. They were super good. They had that lovely bit of sourness, acidity that I really like. And our apples this year are crazily sweet. I've shown them recently. These are called Red Devil apples, and they have a sort of strawberry-like flavor to them. And when you cut through the apples themselves, they have like a pink tinge to them because the pigmentation of the skin here just bleeds through, and it's just so good. Especially this year, they're sweeter than ever, and they're ripe now. Lots of them have dropped. We had so many flowers this year. It was really heavily visited by bees, which was such a joy to see. And then I had to thin out the apples so much because they were just little apples developing everywhere. And then recently we've been picking them, and they've been dropping, and I've been picking up any ones that dropped that were like damaged or not be knocked about and bruised and things, and then just chopping off the good bits and also using them in making apple cider vinegar, because I love making apple cider vinegar. It's such a treat, and I ran out of it early this year, so hoping to get a big stash of it this year. It's so good for all my pickling and my dishes I like making. I really actually use apple cider vinegar a lot. But yes, all the apples have really loved the wonderful summer we've had. So it's been such a blessing to have some sunny days, many sunny days this year. But let's go back to what I actually wanted to show you today. It was not the whole garden. But just before we move on to what I really wanted to show you, here's one more distraction. This is my little cluster of fun things I'm growing here. Some extra tomatoes, lots and lots of chilies. See these beautiful ones here? And also some peppers too. Pointed red peppers, which are finally developing. It's a bit small there. But yes, it's this goji berry I wanted to show you. It kept on flowering, and then I would lose track of where the little beginnings of berries were, and I want to keep an eye on them in the development. And so I tied a little bow here, and now I can see this little guy every time I come to look. There he is. I did this a few days ago now, so he's looking good. This is what I came out here to check on. It's my cranberry plant. I have it potted up because it's an acid lover, so it needs ericaceous compost. And I got it earlier this year, back in March, and put it in a pot full of ericaceous compost here. And really soon after getting it, it actually burst into bloom and had these really gorgeous little flowers that looked like mini orchids. It was so pretty. And now we have some berries. I have kept this bush completely covered with a very fine mesh because I have garden birds that would have picked them clean ages ago, and they do take quite a long time to ripen. They bide their time. And so I had all the blueberry bushes, which are directly above it here. Look how they're turning so autumnal now. Look how pretty that is. I had them all covered too, to protect them from the birds. And now I've uncovered everything, and I think I can pick these little guys now. And I've planned to freeze them down. I haven't got that many, so I want to freeze them down and keep them so I can make my own homegrown cranberry sauce for Christmas, for my Christmas turkey. Obviously I don't have enough for a whole sauce, so I'm going to supplement it with my lingonberries. Let me show you my lingonberries. I've got lots of plants in pots here. They are closely related to both blueberries and cranberries, and they taste just like cranberries, and this one is going to be really full of flowers very soon, and then they're going to develop into these beautiful red berries. There's quite a few of them here, so we're going to have a nice little crop, and my sauce this year will be a lingonberry and a cranberry one. when we were in Denmark, we were able to go berry picking because it is berry season, and they had wild lingonberries growing in this big forest area, woodland area near them. And it was just amazing to see them all there. So I did lots of picking there, but I didn't bring any back with me because that would have been a bit tricky. But it was still so much fun. And my dad makes this wonderful jam where he just takes the fresh berries and mashes them up and puts them through a blender, and then adds a bit of sugar, and then that's it. And they're just raw, and they're so full of goodness. So really healthy and really tasty, and they have that sort of acidity that I always love. So we're going to have lots of lingonberries this year. And again, I treat them all the same. All these ericaceous, acid-loving plants, they just all get ericaceous compost, lots of rainwater. The thing is, if you water them with tap water, that can sort of erode the acidity in the ericaceous compost you've given them. So it's really important to, as much as possible, water them with rainwater. So it's always a blessing when it rains here. It was tricky to do it during our dry spell this summer, so they did get lots of tap water then, but either way, they need to be kept moist too, and they also really like a sunny position. So they're easy to grow as long as you know the conditions they need. I didn't get many berries last year because we barely had any sunshine in the summer, and I put them in a more shaded spot. So it's really good to know that they love the sun and heat and just being kept moist. If they dry out, then that's also not good for them. But yeah, they are wonderful. So I'll just pick the few cranberries we have here and freeze them down, and then we'll add the lingonberries in time, and that'll be fun. How big they are. So lovely. My goodness. So fun to have these. I've also tried growing them from seed from the berries that I bought in the supermarket, and I tried it a few times, and I think because I tried it during the cold months, the little seedlings just did so poorly and did not survive. But then this summer I tried again with the supermarket ones that were like ancient by then, starting to rot. I got some seeds out and planted them. And we've got some really lovely seedlings though. These ones need a bit longer. I'll leave them and see if they manage to not get eaten. I'll come back for them later. You can see it is the sun that ripens them up, of course. So we'll see how they go. Such a vining plant, isn't it? I think I need to repot it at some point, maybe before winter. But yeah, I've got some little beautiful homegrown cranberry seedlings. Let me show you. I sowed these in May, as you can see, the 12th of May. And they've been slowly growing all summer, and they're doing really well. I'm going to keep them in the greenhouse this year, this winter, even though they are hardy. I'm going to keep them protected and wet and moist. I keep them in a little under tray, and then they just are able to suck up water all the time and not dry out at all. But they're looking better than ever, and they're getting a nice size to them too, if you look how big they are. See, look at that. Gorgeous little guys. So that is really fun. I think they take about 3 years to start flowering and fruiting, so I'm really thankful that I got the other plants from the garden centre, so I can already have my very first cranberries this year. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Do let me know how your lingonberries and cranberries are doing, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.